You arrive at your old high school. You step out into the parking lot, and the first thing you notice is how empty it feels. Too quiet. There are no students, no teachers, just the sound of your footsteps echoing in the cool night air. You walk up to the doors, expecting them to be locked. Your goal is clear: find the gym. That's where this all started, but as you make your way down the hallway, you notice something strange. A set of muddy footprints leads away from one of the classrooms and into the gym. They're fresh. Someone else is here, or something else. You follow the trail, pushing open the gym doors. The room is huge, empty, and eerily silent. At the far end, you spot familiar as if it belongs to someone you used to know. But before you can investigate further, a faint sound catches your attention. It's coming from the locker rooms. You step closer, and that's when you see it. Graffiti scrawled across the walls in red paint, except it's not paint, it reads. Sama is always watching. Your stomach drops. The name Sama feels heavy, like a warning you don't yet understand. The air in the gym feels colder now, and the weight of something unseen presses against you. You realize you need to leave fast. But before you can make it out, you hear it. The unmistakable sound of footsteps. Slow, heavy. And getting closer, you turn back toward the locker room. The shadows seem to move, twisting and growing in. A tall, distorted figure emerges from the darkness. Her face is obscured, her movements unnaturally jerky. This is Samo, the thing the graffiti warned you about. Your instinct is to run, you do. You sprint down the hall, not daring to look back, until you find a door. It leads you outside to a garden area, temporary reprieve. But even here, you can't shake the feeling that you're being watched. Sama's presence is everywhere, like a shadow clinging to you no matter where you go. The garden is eerily beautiful, but there's no time to admire it. The faint sound of a shamisen, traditional Japanese instrument, plays in the distance. It feels out of place, yet somehow fitting for the nightmare you do. As you explore, you come across a small shrine. A note lies at its base, written in hurried, shaky handwriting. It tells a story of a cursed family, a betrayal, and a deal with a spirit that went horribly wrong. The name Sama appears again, this time tied to a ritual that was never meant to be completed. But before you can process what it all means, the shamisen grows louder. The sound seems to echo around you, coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. You look around, desperate to find the source, and that's when you see it. Sama, watching from the edge of the garden. She doesn't move, but her presence alone is enough to send chills down your spine. Your only way forward is through a small, unmarked door that leads to a staircase. The air grows colder as you descend, the sound of the shamisen fading into an oppressive silence. The basement is nothing like the school or the garden above. It's dark, damp, and feels alive. The walls seem to breathe, and the flickering lights barely illuminate the narrow passageways ahead. As you make your way through the maze-like corridors, you find more notes. They speak of a pact made to save a dying family, but at a terrible cost. Samo wasn't always a monster. She was human once, mother who wanted to protect her children. But the ritual corrupted her, turning her into the vengeful spirit that now haunts you. The notes lead to a final room. Its largest lead you to find the others, with symbols drawn across the floor in red ink. At the center lies an altar, and standing above it is Sama. This time, she doesn't just watch. She moves toward you, her grotesque form contorting as she lets out a blood-curdling scream. There's no fighting her, only running. You sprint through the corridors, heart pounding as her voice echoes behind you, growing louder with every step. Finally, you find the exit. You burst through the doors and into the cold night air. But as you catch your breath, you realize something. This isn't over. Sama isn't finished with you yet.